All right, take two. Let's see if this works.
Are we
Maybe.
like? No.
Maybe.
Normally I get a question. It says you are live. Do you know that? And I just have to acknowledge it, and nothing came up.
Okay, I think we're live.
We are?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily High with your hosts, Matt McGregor and Tone Base. Before you get angry at us, normally when Tone pushes live, it goes live, and for some reason it did it this time. And normally I get asked, you are currently live, and nothing came up. We've got a 10-minute show to do today because Tone's about to, hit the airport. So, Tone, good morning. How are you? Good? Great. We've
I'm
already
good.
covered that on.
I'm good.
No.
Yep, perfect. Let's go straight to the charts because we just got delayed 10 minutes and I only had 15.
Right. That's exactly right. Oh, did the price just drop in the last few minutes? No, this is incorrect. God darn it. That's a previous trade. This trade I was in from Friday, it was up. There we go. This is my entry from 97,963. We were in profit and we did the show last Friday or whatever. I pulled out that trade at 99,276. It was a nice trade. I have re-entered right now in this trade earlier today. I thought I had already set this up, but didn't set at 96,888 is where that entry is. So I'll just go ahead and change that now. 96,888. So I am currently in a position right now. Look, I don't mind where this is. Like we had this shakeout here, obviously, where it came here, I should say, on the 6th of December. We had that massive shakeout after we hit the a new all-time high. That was kind of to be expected. This is all kind of to be expected, I suppose. It's extraordinarily choppy at the moment. Every single time the move seems to kick on, it gets hard rejected back down. But it did why I entered the trade here is it did put in a higher low, really, and we were sort of back inside the range. Uh, I can see this rolling around and building back up, but it's going to be really choppy in this area until we finally crack on through, and that can take some time. This is what I was mentioning in the previous few weeks of that EXA crossing, and I'm just going to go through it again. I know you all know this, but it has now printed that cross on the EXA, which doesn't necessarily, as I've stated, mean we have to go into a massive correction. It can lead to a massive correction, no doubt about it. But more often than not, it will go into a consolidation at least. Okay, so I think there's a high probability that we get stuck in a bit of a range for the next, however long it takes, maybe going into the end of the year. And I think a lot of people are going to get frustrated in this range, even though in hindsight, we are, if you zoom out, we're in a really, really good spot at 96,000, 97,000 sub 100K. Still really fantastic pricing. But yeah, it could be it could be a real tricky chop zone. I do think that a consolidation is coming now for some time to frustrate people out. It is a win. What is it? Tuesday show today. What else have I got? Nothing really. The daily time frame, it came right down and touched on the 30, which is exactly where it touched on the previous massive correction. So I would be definitely looking at the daily time frame now for any kind of confirmations, considering that 30 simple moving average was twice, respected beautifully. So if this was to come back down and close below the 30, it would have broken that trend of having done that, and I might start to look for a lower entry at that point. But then I would revert back to the 4 hour time frame and really look for a great buy inside the green white on the 4 hour time frame. As my computer's lagging when we've got no time to go through it. But if we did, stop, as I'll just repeat, stop respecting that 30 simple moving average, I would be highly interested in a buy back inside that green wave, particularly off a green diamond. Absolutely magic. But the structure of the market that it is right now, it has a chance to kick on here. This could be a higher low. We started this new candle. We've come back down and touched exactly on the 7. So I'm saying in this trade to see if it can really start to build back up from here. Could go either way, but I've got hopes that we can recover from here and onwards and upwards. I'm coming back to you right now, Tone. Not much time to promote anything today, but the new MRI bot is released tomorrow when we have Bangbox has been performing terribly. And I highly recommend in these conditions you close off the Bang Box bot and opt in to the MRI swing bot. It's more of a swing trading position to hold positions a lot longer than scalping bots. I think scalping bots are very, very challenging in these conditions because every time we go up, we just get cracked down, cracked down, cracked down. They're not kicking on. But a swing bot to try and capture more, which is the MRI swing bot based on the MRI, Tone's MRI, highly recommend close off Bangbox, open up the MRI swing bot. Tone, you got 5 minutes. Take us through it, man.
Well, this is going to go really, really fast because I don't have much to add versus what I said yesterday. And on the monthly chart, we are very, very bullish. We are coming off a green star candle and we are making a little doji candle, but we haven't gone up far enough for this doji candle to really matter. So to me, the monthly is bullish. The weekly is bullish as well. We're coming off a green star candle on the weekly as well. This is a consolidating candle. All we now need is, the break one more time of the 100,000, maybe 102,000, and we should be off to the races to the upside. We're not going to talk about the 4-day chart. It's kind of irrelevant. It shows you my position. It also has a bad, incorrect candle. This is another straight up doji. I am 75% long in this market, and I will explain why. Here's the daily chart. If you guys recall, I sent out a tweet and I informed everyone of my exit. My exit was on the 22nd of the month. Now, unfortunately, my exit wasn't very clean on that month. I got out, too early in the morning. I got out just under 98,000. So I got out over here. And I think I have it as turquoise color on the other. There we go. Okay. That's pretty much where I got out. And it was a pretty good call in the beginning. I'm sneezing around here. It was a good call pretty much instantly because the following day we were trading below it and we kept going lower and lower and lower. And now we spent a bunch of time above it. So because we were spending a bunch of time above it, I had to go long because the risk of us breaking out is significantly higher, or the probability of us breaking out to the upside is significantly higher at the moment for me than the risk of breaking down. But if someone did what I did, got out at any point that day, they would have gotten a better exit. Right now, they're still sitting at a position where the price is lower than where they had it. And we're now going on the 3rd week, if not going on the 4th week. Sorry, 3 weeks have already passed. Almost. This is the 3rd week, going on 4th week. So my statement that we're not going to be able to sustain 100,000 was perfectly valid, but I am also comfortable with my 75% long position as this continues to consolidate at the top. The chances that we're going to go higher are greater than the chances we're going to crash all the way down. My worst case scenario is, of course, at the moment, the 50-period moving average, which is rising very, very quickly. It's rising very quickly. Maybe that's not the worst case scenario. That's more like a realistic scenario to pull back to the 50. The worst case scenario is pulling back to the 128, which is currently sitting in the low 70s. That to me is the real worst case scenario. I'm going to delete some of these lines as they are just getting in the way at this point. Also, this big washout of the big $12,000 drop in a matter of hours certainly is bullish. Now, if I have to come up with an excuse as to why the prices crashed yesterday, my only excuse is there was an announcement that Michael Saylor had purchased another, 21,000 Bitcoin? That is actually a very bearish event, and I'll tell you why. Everyone and their mother wants to buy Bitcoin when Michael Saylor announced he's going to buy Bitcoin because everyone wants to pre-run the trade. When public news comes out that Michael Saylor has already completed his purchase and there's no more money to buy Bitcoin, everyone is like, oh shit, you mean he's not going to buy and pump my bags tomorrow? I need to get out, okay? So this is basically how the market works, okay? Now that Michael Saylor has completed his purchase, no one wants to front run his trade until they think they can front run Michael Saylor again. It's like, oh, I just heard on CNN Michael Saylor is going to buy Bitcoin tomorrow. Therefore, I will be a genius and buy it today. Okay, that's not how the market works. When Michael Saylor announces he's going to buy Bitcoin, that Bitcoin has already been purchased. It has already been purchased into a contract, and it will be delivered on a day like yesterday, even though it probably got delivered at a lower price or at a future price. So he's not actually raising the price of Bitcoin when this happens. The price of Bitcoin goes up before that announcement. So anyone that thinks they're smart and they're buying after they heard it on the news or on Twitter, you're not actually pre-running the market. But everyone also panics when they find out that the purchase has already completed. Now that the purchase has been completed and everyone that panicked because the purchase was completed has panicked, I think the price has a good chance to stabilize and go higher from here. So nothing much to say on this, nothing to say on oil. Gold is looking great, as I stated yesterday. Gold is now in a very, very bullish position. I would love to see a second green star candle happen on the Bitcoin daily chart. And if that green star candle happens at a lower price than the last green star candle, that's even better. We're going to need at least 2 more days, possibly 4 more days, because remember, in about 2 days from now, the number will be red if it's lower than the all-time daily close. So it may take until this weekend to get yet another green star candle, and that would be very, very bullish for me. Then a green star candle would align with the weekly candle last week and the monthly candle last month. And the next green star candle would be a lot more powerful than this one because the market would have had another week of consolidation. The stock market is in super pre-market. We're bringing you the stream very, very early. The next Fed announcement is in about a week or so, and we will keep an eye on that. That's pretty much it. The ETFs. By the way, I was telling you guys about Max Payne. This is the one you really have to keep an eye on. The one on the 20th. You can see that the one in 4 days from now, the price is actually high. It's at all the way at 56. So I wouldn't be surprised if the market makers push the price of Bitcoin into a $56 IDBIT, BlackRock's ETF. If you're curious where BlackRock's ETF is, it's currently at 55.5. That's the pre-market value. So we are actually in a situation where the market makers have a reason to push the price higher. So therefore, because that creates Max Payne, but then a week later, they are very incentivized to push the price lower into 54. So that's a $4,000 Bitcoin swing here on the price of actual Bitcoin. You can easily convert one into the other. And something to keep in mind that the market makers are incentivized to push it higher into this Friday and then lower into next Friday. Okay, now this used to say 53, now it says 54. It's possible that it can say 55 by this time next week, but I don't think this will make it all the way to 56. So just absolutely keep that in mind, that these things do matter. And finally, speaking of the ETFs, here are the latest numbers, but here's the crazy part. Here's how we were at the end of Friday, and now we had lots of volatility over the weekend. I thought it was going to be 50-50, whether the ETFs would buy Bitcoin or sell Bitcoin. You can see that the ETFs purchased 4,000 additional Bitcoin, and every single one of them was purchased by BlackRock. BlackRock is absolutely crushing it. Everything else is dropping. Fidelity is barely hanging on to 200,000. I would love to see Fidelity flip grayscale by end of year, but I remember ARK having 50,000 Bitcoin like 6 months ago, and now they're sitting at 48. And 6 months ago, BlackRock was like at 300,000 Bitcoin. So BlackRock has made it all the way to 527, and ARK Invest has gone down. I mean, all of this is completely useless. No offense to some of these companies, but BlackRock is dominating everything, and that's why that's the one that I'm trading as well. All right.
Righto.
Gotta run to the airport, gotta pack the laptop. So Matt, close us out.
All right. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Sorry for the short show. We'll see you the same time tomorrow night with a more in-depth show. All right. Have a great night.
Bye, guys.